What's up? What's good, fam? It's your boy Slick. Welcome to my first ever YouTube video. Wow, fucking said it. Before we dive in, let me give a quick shout out to the sponsor of the video, my dad, who pulled a Houdini faster than you can say deadbeat stereotype. But hey, but hey, but hey, but hey, let's talk about something near and dear to my heart. I see you there with your face all scrunched up wondering, Slick, where'd you turn to for fatherly wisdom? To which I reply, none of your fucking business, but also, who needs a pop when you've got a whole council of TV dads? Picture this. You're posted up on the couch, remote in hand, channel surfing, boom, there they are. Iconic dads. But enough with the small talk, we're counting down top 10 black TV dads. Alright, enough of the chit chat. We're about to dive into the top 10 black TV dads, ranked on an arbitrary scale that I cooked up just for y'all. Don't even think about cross-referencing or, checking my facts, because I took some free online courses on the Yale website. Yeah, it's pretty much science. So sit back, relax. Oh, and don't go nowhere, because right after this, we got some honorary mentions. These dads didn't quite make the list for one reason or another, but let's just say there might be some interesting reasons why they got left out. Stick around and find out. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Well, here we are, folks. At number 10, with Floyd Henderson from Smart Guy. It was a tight one, let me tell you. I mean, we got this sitcom that aired 97 to 99, all about this little whiz kid smartass named TJ Henderson. We're not talking about that little shit today. No. Right now, we're talking about the dad. Yeah, you heard me. So there's TJ, this little prodigy prick, and then there's his two other siblings, Yvette and Marcus. Because TJ's such a little boy genius, they all attended high school together. Needed a good fucking 5 across the eye slap upside the head, if you ask me. Anyway, they live with the father, Floyd Henderson, who's a widower and works as a contractor. Classic single dad bullshit, right? But guess what? The goddamn show's mostly about TJ and his siblings at school, leaving the dad to take the back seat. Typical. Fucking dad gets the small piece of chicken, god damn it. God damn it. Anyway, let's get back to Floyd. His wife's 6 feet under, so Floyd's lucky. Now he doesn't have to deal with any of her nagging. Oh, and bonus points for being light-skinned, just like yours truly. So, in summary, Floyd Henderson receives 1 out of 3 successful paternity tests because, well, someone's got some explaining to do. Take a look at this picture. If you were none the wiser, you would think that Mo, Marcus's light-skinned friend, is the son, and Marcus is just a neighbor dropping by for a visit. Next up on our list, Robert Townsend with Parenthood, the sitcom that graced our screens from 1995 to 99. He played Dr. Robert Peterson, a man who went from singing on the Chitlin circuit with the 5 heartbeats to wrangling family chaos on the small screen. Talk about a downgrade, am I right? Now, Robert's not your typical sitcom dad. In every episode, Robert would magically hallucinate and stumble upon the solutions to the pressing problem of the episode. But before I go any further, let's not forget the real highlight of the show, Zaria, Robert's eldest daughter, the object of every teenage boy's crush. I mean, she's the reason the show even made it on the list. Zaria, if you're watching and listening, it's time to choose up. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. And don't forget to like and subscribe, okay? Don't mooch off my content. At least click the like button. Do it now. Thanks. All right. I know if you don't want to comment, I guess that's cool. I appreciate if you did as well. But the least you could do is honestly. I know it takes one to know, and I'm a prick too. I don't do it. I'm guilty. Don't be a dick. Probably didn't even do it, you piece of shit. On with the show. How I look at this show is it's like a ghetto Full House. Meh, not necessarily my cup of tea. So when Robert's not fighting crime with his secret identity Meteor Man, taking on the Bloods and the Crips and West Side Connection and Cypress Hill, and of course, the Golden Lords, you usually find him giving out some lame square advice to one of his lame square kids about some lame square problem they have. I would say, hey, why is this show on the list, Slick? I'll tell you why, okay? The reason is because Parenthood did have one redeeming quality. It showed a positive black family on TV in the 90s. I'm more of a, you know what I mean? I'm more of a Robin Harris, Paul Mooney kind of guy myself. I mean, what the fuck do I know? We're going to go ahead and grab this one by the balls. Next up on our roster, Julius Rock from the show Everybody Hates Chris. This aired from 2005 to 2009. Julius Rock, portrayed by Terry Crews, he epitomizes the cheapskate. I mean, literally, this guy could squeeze a nickel so tight it would scream for mercy. He treated every penny like it was his firstborn child. He'd sooner throw his kids to the wolves than spend a dime on their well-being. I love the show, but don't get me started on Chris Rock, especially his spineless response to Louis C.K. dropping the N-bomb right in front of him in Seinfeld. Chris Rock. I feel like a real one would have knocked him out, but Rock just sat there like a limp noodle. Even Seinfeld, yeah, he had the balls to stand up and say, hey, that's not funny, or something like that to that effect. Even Seinfeld had the balls to stand up and say, hey, like, where's the humor in that? Or something to that effect. Nope, he just sat there, nodding like a bobblehead. Deja vu. Anyway, back to Julius. This guy wouldn't spend a penny if it meant saving $1. I mean, he's tighter than a gnat's ass in a sandstorm. And what did Jules do for a living? I'm not exactly sure. It's like the guy was allergic to free time, though. I think he had like 8 or 9 jobs or something. That's why Terry gets number 7, because he needs luxuries like name brand cereal or non-generic toilet paper. Julius knows how to make $1 stretch. Julius knows how to make $1 stretch like nobody's business. I respect it. Next up, we have Michael Kyle, played by Damon Wayans. My Wife and Kids. This sitcom centered around the chaotic life of the Kyle family. He was essentially the archetype of like a modern day father, juggling the ups and downs, just juggling the family life like only a Wayans can. His parenting style was mostly a mix of tough love and sarcastic banter, with a dash of because I said so thrown in for good measure. As for his career, Michael owned a trucking company in Connecticut, which might be symbolism. Can't stand his wife. Trucking company, wants to get away from his wife, be on road. Yeah, but what do I know? Speaking of family, Michael and his wife, Janet, had 3 children. Junior, the dumb eldest son, Claire, the sassy middle child, and Katie, the adorable youngest daughter. We're gonna give Michael Kyle. Now, this was always a dope show when it comes on. I don't mind it. We're gonna give Michael Kyle 2 dark-skinned Claires out of 5. Why? Because halfway through the series, they swapped out the original dark-skinned daughter for a light-skinned actress. Talk about a shady move. Let's not forget Janet Kyle. Allegedly, her role in ending the show Martin prematurely earned her some demerit points in the eyes of the fans. But hey, every family has its flaws, right? Michael Kyle's parenting style, he had a knack for teaching his kids lessons the hard way. Like the time Junior got his girlfriend pregnant. Instead of coddling him, Michael threw him out of the house and made him live in the garage. He always did have their best interests at heart. And let's face it, being a Wayans doesn't hurt either. The family that large and talented, you're particularly guaranteed a spot on any list, no matter how arbitrary. Next on the spot, number 6, goes to the OG himself, James Evans. Damn. From Good Times. Now, the show was called Good Times, but let's be real. There was not a damn thing good about those times. They had 3 kids. They were living in hell. This show aired from 1974 to 1979. The show was a struggle to survive in a Chicago housing projects. James Evans would work tirelessly to provide for his family. There was always constant financial hardships. But they were broke. He's OG. James gets his default on this list. James was killed in one of the episodes. Yeah, they got rid of him. Let's give James Evans 6 hot comb burns out of 10. Who can forget Little Penny, played by Miss Janet Jackson, getting that infamous hot comb treatment? Oh, the memories. James was the dad who taught us that even though life might suck, you better face it with strength and integrity. And lastly, let's clear up one thing that's been bugging everyone since the 70s. The iconic theme song. The one line we all think that goes, hanging in and jiving. It's actually hanging in a chow line. So there's that. We land at number 5. We're shouting out to Bernie Mac from The Bernie Mac Show, stemming from his legendary stand-up routine from the Kings of Comedy. In the show, he was a comedian just like real life, hustler, all-around baller. The origin story of The Bernie Mac Show, where he shares the tales of his crackhead sister and the antics of her 3 crack baby children. They were mischievous, like you gotta watch it. So Bernie had not 1, not 2, but 3 running around the house, wreaking havoc, keeping him on his toes. 3 kids, triple the trouble. But his parenting style was straight up realness. He didn't sugarcoat shit. He would roast them when they make mistakes. His discipline was strict. Sergeant Mac, his house rules were strict, simple. No backtalk, no excuses, no crying unless you wanted to get featured in the next stand up. Bernie Mac, true king of comedy. Not a lot of people do better than Bernie Mac. And for his no holds barred approach to parenting, we're giving him a solid 3 out of 3 crackbaits. Moving on up to the 4th spot on our list, we got George Jefferson, the iconic patriarch from the Jeffersons. George wasn't just a dad, he was a hustler, businessman, and he was sharp. Let's break down why he earned his place among the top black dads on TV. George's job. Now, George wasn't your average 9 to 5. When I say he was a hustler, I mean he was a self-made man. He ran his own successful dry cleaning business. He didn't just climb the corporate ladder. He took the elevator, and George Jefferson shuffled all over anybody in his way. He only had one kid, Lionel. Everybody knows that. He owes me $5. One kid was all it took for George to lay down the law. Kept that house in check. Tough love and tough talk. He didn't coddle Lionel. He pushed him to be the best version of himself. Even if it meant a few heated arguments along the even if it meant they had to bump heads along the way. But hey, that's just tough love, baby. This show was on from what? This show was on from 1975 to 1985. That's groundbreaking, especially for a black show. A decade on TV. Ernest Fry and Amen. George wasn't the only dad Sherman Hemsley portrayed on TV. In Amen, he played Ernest Fry. He was a deacon with a heart of gold. He was always into something. He was a lot more relaxed, showed more compassion, more grace. Ernest Fry brought a gentler approach to fatherhood. There it is. George Jefferson and Ernest Fry for their dynamic duo parenting styles. Now, Ernest Fry will get 5 Wheezy. Fix myself a plate. Yeah, 5 of those out of 5. And then George Jefferson will get 5 George Jefferson haircuts. Okay, folks, there's no turning back now. So, grab your popcorn, because we're about to leave you questioning your life choices. Brace yourself for the final leg. Number 3. Hold on to your seats. The one and only John Witherspoon, aka Pops, from the Wayans brothers. So this show aired in the late 90s. Pops ran the diner and Sean ran the newsstand. I don't think we ever see the mom. I don't remember seeing the mom. But yeah, so he had the 2 sons, Sean and Marlon. They were more trouble. Pops was dope as hell. What can I say? I mean, not to mention the Boondocks bonus. Let's not forget his side gig as Granddad in the Boondocks, dealing with Riley and Huey. Granddad had his hands full. But there's more. He's the Pops in Friday. You win some, you lose some. Live to fight another day. Classic. John Witherspoon, number 3. Hands down. We're giving it a solid 3 bang, bang, bangs. Now hit that subscribe button and that like button. And stay tuned for number 2, you crackhead. Number 2. There can only be one. In the realm of black TV dads, he's definitely in the elite. James Avery started as Uncle Phil in 1990, lasted to 96. Glorious era. Oversized suits, fat jokes. It was a beautiful time. He blended tough love, wisdom. Pull yourself together, Will. He taught discipline, guidance. They went hand in hand. Unconditional love as well. Message. Uncle Phil had 3 children of his own, Carlton, Hillary, Ashley, along with his nephew, the Fresh Prince himself, Mr. Cuckold. Let's not forget Jeffrey, the butler, the man of 1,000 side eyes. As an attorney, Uncle Phil was the epitome of black excellence. From the courtroom to the living room, he commanded respect. He had sharp intellect. His booming voice could silence a room faster than you could say, "It just happened. You think I want this?" Now I'm objective. I'm very objective. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The abomination that is the Fresh Prince remake. Seriously, who thought it was a good idea? Seriously, stop with the remakes. It's not necessary. Coming to America 2, that was a disappointment. Some things should just be left untouched. Now, we also have to go ahead and add some bonus points for James Avery's role in Sparks, another TV show where he once again graced our screens as a father figure. But of course, we can't ignore moments like Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. I mean, it was entertaining, but let's not condone violence, folks. And as for Jada Pinkett Smith, let's just say Uncle Phil would have some choice words for her. But who are we to judge? So there you have it, Uncle Phil earning his rightful place among the top contenders for his iconic portrayal of Uncle Phil on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. James Avery's legacy as Uncle Phil will live on forever. So we're giving him a solid 5 out of 5 golden gavels. Now go forth and channel your inner Uncle Phil. Because when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Fred G. Sanford, and the G is for going places. Sanford and Son. Fred Sanford was played by Red Fox from 1972 to 1977. He had one kid in the show, Lamont, and his profession was a junk dealer. His parenting style, annoyed and grouchy. I see a lot of myself in Fred. He seemed to be annoyed by anybody and everything. He wasn't much for other people's feelings. He was quick with one-liners that bordered verbal abuse. And his son Lamont, the big dummy, couldn't catch a break. But Fred managed to raise a kid who looked after him and made sure his father was going to be all right. So he must have done something right. Now, Fred Sanford ran this junkyard in Watts, Los Angeles. He used to hustle junk. He used to hustle people. Red Fox has a way with words that's unmatched. And to top it off, his signature heart attack shtick. This is the big one, Elizabeth. I'm coming to join you, honey. Every time life throws him a curveball. And life threw Fred a lot of curveballs, trust. You could go back, watch it today, pure comic gold. He would whoop your ass with words, and he always hit you with that old school, no-nonsense wisdom. He's that dad who would roast you till you're well done, but he'd also give you the shirt off his back if you needed it. Fred Sanford is the face of Mount Rushmore for black TV dads, because he's real. He's flawed, he's funny, and he's full of heart. Nobody did it like Fred Sanford, the original junkyard king who turned trash into treasure. That's why he's our number one.